'cause I'm gonna make sure I give you some love on our show tonight. Behind the Mask.
Yep.
So I did a podcast today with one of my really good friends, Takeo Spikes, who went to Auburn, and Tutan Reyes. It's called Behind the Mask. So I want to get those two guys, Takeo Spikes and Tutan Reyes. Hope I pronounced his name right. Behind the Mask. They got that podcast. Shout out to my Auburn brother, Takeo Spikes.
Behind the Mask.
Man, welcome back, bro. We back in this BTM lounge, homie.
Indeed. Great day. Another day in paradise.
Another day in paradise, indeed. But, you know, I would love to chop it up with you because I got some stuff to chop it up about the last episode. We'll get into that. But we got a very special guest today. Member of the NBA 75th anniversary team.
Facts.
Hall of Famer. And if you don't know what the 75th NBA anniversary team is, he's just one of the greatest 75 players to ever play the game. Last but not least, I gotta say this, because he hails from the school in the plains of Auburn University. He is the third best player to come out of Auburn behind me. Chuck Barkley, welcome to the lab.
What up, man? Thank y'all for having me. Hey, listen, man, the Auburn thing, you know, is real. I tell people this, and it's so funny when people are like, man, what's up with you Auburn people? I said, man, I can't even explain it to you. It's like you part of a family for life.
Indeed.
And some people like their school, but I said, no, Auburn is different. Yeah. Like, we love the love we have for each other. Every time we go back there, you're like everybody. Like it's like a family reunion, and I look forward to it. I try to go to 3 or 4 football games a year, 4 or 5 basketball games a year, and like I say, I look forward to it every single time because you see all these old people you've been seeing for years, and it's just a special place, my brother. You know that
they family. You see people. When I was 18 years old. I went back. Now my daughter's at school at Auburn now. I went to the basketball game, and I saw the same man who supported us when I was 18.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It ain't nothing changed. You
No.
ain't got no security.
Nope.
Yeah,
like you,
fact.
like that's family. So you talk to them itself. Yeah. But you probably wouldn't know nothing about that. You going to that other school in Mississippi.
Listen, man.
The state of Mississippi.
I will give y'all credit. You know what I'm saying? When me and Ty came down to Auburn a couple years ago, y'all showed love. The tailgating was amazing. Y'all got the victory. Auburn football did beat Ole Miss, but there's another game October 15th this year, so we're going to have to run that back.
Man, we don't even take y'all serious. Y'all like, hey, y'all, Mississippi State.
We beat y'all last year though.
Yeah, that's why we making changes.
That's what you make changes.
Missouri.
All right.
Y'all them schools at Arkansas. We just brought y'all in to get W's.
Yeah.
Damn, yo. That's messed up.
Y'all have a good year every now and then.
We like
so that means we gonna bet then.
Yeah, we definitely gonna bet.
I ain't betting no money because you got me, but I'm just saying we gonna bet something.
Oh yeah, bet. Hey, a nice dinner.
And you gonna have to rock a tight Ole Miss jersey on your podcast.
I tell you what.
No, you're not doing that. So let me tell you what he did, Chuck. Betted him 2 years ago, took him down to the Plains. Actually, I think Chuck, you was there.
Yeah.
And he still hasn't worn the jersey that we after we booked.
He ain't never give it to me though.
But you said something very interesting, and I've heard this from random strangers. No, seriously, you were treated great, right?
Absolutely.
See, that's the thing. I've had people say, "Man, you're not gonna believe how great I was treated at Auburn." I said, "You're gonna get treated great at Auburn all the time," because I've got friends who went to Alabama. They're like, "Yo, man, those people are rude." They've been to Baton Rouge. They're like, "Man, those people crazy down there." They've been over to Athens. I said, "Yo, man, you gonna always get treated great at Auburn."
Most definitely.
We love our school, but we're not gonna mistreat any fans. I promise you that.
It was all love. Most definitely. Can't wait to come back. But Ole Miss gonna get y'all this year. You know what I mean? But let's get into this thing, Spikes. You know what I mean? So Chuck, glad to have you. We have a segment on the Behind the Mask podcast called This or That, where we give you one or the other, 2 different scenarios, and you just got to pick one.
Okay.
Put you under pressure. But obviously, being in the NBA, we have this conversation in barbershops on every sports channel, damn near weekly. We talk about this GOAT situation, and it comes down to two people. I ain't even got to tell you who it is, but
well, I think that's a little unfair because I think the guy who gets left out of the GOAT conversation is Kareem.
facts.
And I don't like the GOAT conversation because I think you got two generations. Mm-hmm. Listen, Michael's the best I've ever seen. No disrespect to Kobe or LeBron. They both amazing. But I played against Michael a lot. We came into the NBA together. So I played against him. I was in the NBA for 16 years. I think he played 12 or 13, retired early and blah, blah, blah. But when I watched that Last Dance thing, I was like, damn, this is a real – because they were killing that dude.
Yeah.
I mean, they were beating the hell out of him. And they've changed the rules. And Takeo can actually tell you this, like, I know he would rather be playing football today. I mean, because and that's not us being old guys and
bitter.
Yeah. Like, it's just easier to play. Mm-hmm. I mean, hey, listen, I used to tell people, when you play them Pistons, them bad boys, you used to call you, hey, listen, if I never see y'all again, I love y'all. You have to call your family before the game. Because those boys were really trying to hurt people. Yeah. And then you saw in the playoffs, like, when I watched that Last Dance thing, I was like, some of those fouls they were doing, you would get suspended multiple games today if you hit people like that. And those were just like common fouls. Like now they got flagrant 2. But like back in the day, it was like, oh, just give them 2 free throws. And the Pistons had so many big bodies. They had Lambert, Mahorn, Sally, Rodman, James Edwards. So they were using all 6 of their fouls. But man, that's the one thing I admire about Michael. He just kept getting bigger and stronger and like, nah. And I played with some guys who like, no, I'm not going in there. And that's the one reason I always admired Michael. He's like, no, we going in there, brother. And he kept coming until he got stronger, got bigger, stronger, and he knocked that wall down.
Yeah. So you did your thing too, man. You wasn't, you know what I mean, no slouch out there.
Well, the only time I was slouched that one day I played football. I played.
How that work out for you?
It didn't work out for me. My coach in high school taught me into playing football, and I was like, okay, I'll try this. And I went out there for one day, and I was like, wow, this is crazy. And I was like, no, this is crazy. I just ran into a dude. I was on the defensive line, and those like the offensive line and defensive line like real football players. Right. Like you getting hit every single play. Yeah. And I remember last I was in the locker room. I had my head down. I was totally exhausted. My head was hurting. My everything about it. Coach, I'll see y'all tomorrow. I'm like, wait. We not practicing. We're not doing this tomorrow. I'm not doing this shit tomorrow. No. And he says, we got practice tomorrow. I said, yeah, Coach. Yeah. I said, here's my uniform. I'm not doing this tomorrow. This is just stupid. I'm like, I just ran into a dude for like 2 hours. And I'm hurting, and you said we got to do the same thing tomorrow. I was like, and my friend used to make fun of me. He's like, yo, man, you play football one day. I says, yeah, I knew it was crazy 40 years ago. They just found it out now. You're getting beat up and got all this stuff going on. I said, nah, man, this is not for me.
One day.
It didn't take me many times to learn. That one day was enough for me.
That's a smart man. Did you even get through the drill Oklahoma? Did y'all do Oklahoma?
We did to Oklahoma. I don't even think they called it Oklahoma back then. Because I forget the name they call it, but it's just mano. But like I say, like it wasn't because I'm not just saying this because I'm on your podcast. My 2 favorite sports are football and boxing.
Yep.
Because I know what it takes. It ain't like basketball. It ain't like tennis. It ain't like golf. Like, to be a great football player or a boxer, like, you literally got to, like, yeah, I'm willing to risk my body. Yeah. I'm really, really.
Risk it all.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And to do it every day on a high level. I mean, because, everybody play in high school, but then you go to college and go to the NFL. You're like, yeah, these real men out here. And I was like, I got to watch this. So I'm addicted to football and boxing, and because I'm like, man, these some real dudes out here. That's like real. I mean, anybody can run and jump and make a layup and shoot a jump shot, but when people are hitting you in your face or they're trying to block you and stuff, I'm like, yeah, I like this because even though I didn't have the courage to play, I could admire it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see that. I could see that. So you pretty much gave the white glove service to your coach and just told him, look, man, you can have this uniform, this helmet, because I'm finna go over here and pick up this basketball.
Well, he did come back to me later. He says, I probably should have put you at a different position.
What position? He had you at D-line?
He had me at D-line where you get hit every play.
You supposed to do the hit in that D-line, though.
Well, first of all, you don't know the snap count. So they have an advantage on you.
You reacted.
You watching the ball.
Yeah, you have to react to getting hit.
Okay.
And so it's kind of like, you know, when I watch a lot of football, and the guy said, well, on a snowy day and a wet day, the wide receiver always has an advantage. He knows where he's going. Right. So the defensive line, no matter how, I mean, you are at a slight disadvantage because you don't know the snap count. So a guy getting a split-second head start coming at your head is a big advantage.
Huge.
Yeah.
And we still dominate y'all plus size model.
Get out of here, man. Whatever, man. I whooped y'all in college. But anyway, go ahead, man. Back to the show, man. It ain't about us. We got Chuck here.
Yeah, you're right. All right, Chuck. This or that. So, what would you prefer during your off time? A trip to Vegas, comped the whole entire weekend, or a weekend with the boys at the Masters?
Wow. Damn. Brother, you give me some hard choices, but I'm probably going to go with Vegas. Because, you know, I'm a gambling degenerate. I mean, I love to gamble. I love to gamble. I mean, it's fun. It's exciting. It sucks when you lose. But I love to gamble. When I remember, so when I got drafted by the 76ers, we're about an hour from Atlantic City.
Yep.
So people, it's so funny. Like people say, well, what do y'all do on off days? I said, like, well, we practice from like 10 to 12. I'm like, what do you do for the rest of the day? Whatever you want to. Like, it ain't like football. Y'all got all these meetings and y'all there all day, which I still haven't figured out what the hell y'all doing there all day.
Babysitting, overkill.
Yeah. So the guys were like, we drive down Atlantic City and gamble all day and drive back. Like I say, if you don't have a game, you'll practice that next day, and practice is like, and first of all, you're there for, once the season starts, you don't practice 2 hours. You're there for a couple hours because you don't want to kill your legs. But you go there and shoot around and scrimmage maybe a little bit sometime. But then you're off for the rest of the day. So we jump on that road and go down to Atlantic City, and you start gambling. You're playing $10 and $20 a hand, and the next thing you know, you're playing $50 a hand, and then next thing you know, you're playing $1,000 a hand, like over 6 months to a year, and then it just keeps going. But it was always fun. And then we would go to New Jersey, and they had a great horse track over there, Garden State. And we didn't know shit about horse racing. But we went over, a bunch of guys on Monday night. We'd all pool our money together, and we bet on the long shot every race. That's like stupid we were. Yeah,
did you ever hit though?
We hit. All you gotta do is hit one for the night, and it'll pay for everything. But we're like, well, why would we bet even money or 2 to 1?
That's it.
Like that's how stupid we were. Like, wait a minute, if we bet 2 to 1, that ain't gonna make it. Let's bet on this horse to 65 to 1, and then like I say, once every 2 weeks you'd hit one race and you're good for the draft. But like the rest of the time you lost. But we didn't know shit about horse racing because we from all over the world, all over the country, and but it was it was a good little thing. They had great food. We just hang out on Monday night. We put a couple $100 together and just go for it. But it was great team bonding and things like that.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. I keep thinking about you talking about playing the physical game in high school, and you was like, you know what, this ain't for me. But I really think about modern day, like, bro, you played in the most physical era, in my opinion, when it comes to basketball.
Yeah.
Like hard fouls and everything. Do you think you could play in this era now in the game of, that's a flagrant 1, flagrant 2?
Yeah. First of all, it will be easier, especially a guy who's gonna have the ball all the time, like myself. Like guys they can't hand check me, they can't hit me hard. Like I'm gonna shoot an extra probably 10 free throws a game. I mean, because like if anytime you make a move, a normal reaction is guys to touch you or get in your way. So you're gonna get so many free throws. Like you see, some of these guys are averaging 10 to 15 free throws a game. If you're a great offensive player, especially if you got speed or quickness and power, and you got the ball, you're gonna get fouled a lot. So it's a lot easier, and we got some great players today. You know, every time you criticize them, they're like, you're just a bitter old man, which is not even close to being true. But I'm smart enough to know, like, yeah, it's just easier to play today. It's like, you know, when I watch the NFL, like, every record is gonna, you know, one of my friends is Emmitt Smith, and we were joking around in Lake Tahoe last summer. He's probably got a record in football that's never gonna be broken. For the simple fact, we're never gonna have a running back carry the ball that much.
Facts.
Ever.
Facts.
Ever.
Because everybody going to 2 running backs.
Everybody's going to 2 running backs, so nobody's ever going to carry the ball that much or get that many touches because they don't want to pay them, number one. But also, they're going to throw the ball so much. Like, every passing record is going to go from Tom to Drew to Aaron and Patrick. By the time they finish, they're going to have all the records, and then most of the guys are going to keep breaking them. Because I don't think we ever going to go back to ground and pound anymore. You know, when those boys had the Hogs in D.C. with John Riggins and those guys, and, you know, Emmett had his great offensive line. But that's just, like I say, the game has changed.
And it's different now. I'm curious because 6'6", let's say.
Yes. I'll allow a little bit. 6'5",
ish.
Yeah.
What position would you play today though? Because now the 6'5" players are guards.
Yeah, I don't think. I think I'll still be a forward, but I would have to learn to shoot the ball better. But I think a lot of times these guys, you got to do what you do best. Like, I'm a post-up player. I realize I can't post up every time, but I got to learn to shoot the ball better if I play today. I think that's important. That's significant. You have to the game. You have to change with the game, or the game gonna leave you behind. They're not gonna walk the ball up and down the court and give it to me 30, 40 times a game like we did in my day. But like I say, I'm gonna become a better shooter. But there is a place for me to, depending on who's guarding me. I mean, that's what's really important. I mean, I'm gonna make them guard me too.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's the key.
And they ain't gonna be able to do that.
No, because I was fast enough and quick enough that I could play out on the floor. So that to me would be the key. Like big plotting guys, I don't know if they would have a tough time today. Yeah, for sure.
When you look at overall, like, the game has changed, and you know, from a fan perspective, we love it because we see more run and gun.
Yeah,
you seeing big men who typically, I think of Patrick Ewing, Rick Smits, all of those guys used to post up, Mutombo. Now you getting 7-footers, damn near coming out shooting jumpers all the time.
Yeah, and I'm not sure that's a great thing. Because you take your advantage away. See, it sounds simple. Being tall is always a good thing. But if you're going to stand out there and shoot threes, you're taking your advantage away. You know, you look at one thing about Giannis, he he gets a little carried away at times shooting threes instead of just going to the basket or posting up down low. Like every time he shoots a three, the defense like, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. But so you have to do what you do best. And if you're a big guy, like Karl Town is a terrific player, but he falls in love with the jump shot. And like, dude, they got a 6'6" guy on you. Every time you shoot a three, he's like, thank you for not posting me up.
Yep.
But I watched the game the other night. Somebody must have said something to him because me and Shaq were very critical. Like, yeah, man, they got a little dude on you, go in the post. And actually, it's so funny you said that because Joel Embiid been angry at me and Shaq for the last few years.
Yes, he has.
And we're like, yo, man, why you got your big ass out there shooting threes? You're the best big man in the game. They cannot guard you in the post. And you notice ever since he started going down the post, he's been like, he probably would have won the MVP last year if he didn't get hurt. But he's probably going to win the MVP this year because, dude, you're the best big man in the game. You out there shooting threes really helps the defense. It doesn't help you or your team. And now he's got his butt in the post, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
You look at some of the high flyer players or the physical players that did the dunks back, even when you played. So I think of you, I think of Sean Kemp, and then moving on now, Blake Griffin, on to the new guys that shoot.
Yeah.
But even you later in your career, Kemp later in his career, all you guys had to really develop that jump shot, that perimeter jump shot to kind of keep up with the Ewings and the Karl Malones, guys that had it coming into the game.
Well, you have to do that because your ass can't jump anymore. When you start losing your talent, you have to adapt. Like in the beginning, you cannot run everybody out, jump everybody, get in a spot on the floor that you want to. But as you get older, you can't do that. And you have to develop other parts of your game. And why that's important, that keeps you hanging. Like, if you use your brain, you probably can hang around another 2 or 3 years. Because them boys you playing with, they're dominant rocks. They're dominant rocks. Because they come in, because nobody knows how to play in the NBA at 18, 19 years old.
They don't understand strategy that
Nothing.
young.
No, they played their whole life on
Pick and
talent.
roll.
Yep, they just played their whole career on talent. I mean, because you're not getting probably great coaching in high school, and you're getting good coaching in college, but you're better than 99% of the players. So, but then when you get to the NBA, you ain't better than nobody.
Yeah.
So then you can survive on talent, but at some point in your career, because you can't be a great player unless you learn how to play. Because you can't, like I say, any kid who think he gonna come to the NBA right now and says, I'm gonna outrun LeBron or Giannis or Devin Booker or Jimmy Butler or Trae Young, like I'm gonna just out-talent those guys. They just nuts.
Yeah.
You gotta learn how to play.
Right.
So as you get older, well, actually, you shouldn't wait till you get older, to be honest. You should do it early in your career, and that's going to take you to the next level as a player. And you guys are the same. Like, you got to get – talent gets you to the NFL.
Facts.
Talent gets you there. But then you got to learn how to play. Like, you got to pay attention in those meetings and things like that. That's what I tell the young guys. No, talent going to get you to the NBA. But it's going to be, number one, you're not going to be talented than most of the guys. But also, there's another dude coming next year. If you don't learn the intricacies of your sport, you won't be around long.
What player in today's game that reminds you of your game? Is it anybody close to that?
Not really, because it's changed so much. Because like they ain't got no. These guys all are much better shooters than me. That doesn't mean they're better players. They're better shooters, because if you can't really shoot threes today, you're at a disadvantage. You're at a serious disadvantage. You talked about a little bit earlier about Patrick Ewing and guys like that who were Karl Malone, myself, Shaq, Hakeem. Well, we're all post-up players. But there's not many post-up players out there today. So the dilemma is going to be, when you do get a big guy who can be a great player, what do you do with him? And that's gonna come up more often, because like there's always going to be big guys coming, but they gonna have to adapt, because you look at a guy like when we're taping this, Rudy Gobert really struggled last night because Jason Kidd put 5 little guys out there, and they set a record for 17 uncontested threes, because what they were doing was, first of all, Utah was playing awful defense, but that's the way they play normally. They funnel everything to Rudy, who blocks it. That's why he's been like 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, leads the league in blocked shots. But what Jason did last night, Jason Kidd, was he said, no. I'm not going to put a big guy out there. So every time they drove toward Rudy, he came to block the shot, and he kicked it over to the guy. And like I say, they set an NBA record for 17 wide open threes. And they made them and upset the Jazz last night.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's funny, man? You talked about how you are watching the game, looking at it from a different perspective, and you have your eye on the NBA today, being a former player. We do the same thing in broadcasting, right? The whole like model of the NBA now is superstars pairing up or stars pairing up. Wasn't necessarily as much prevalent when you guys played.
No,
you know what I mean?
Nobody would do it in my day. That's what you mean.
Right. But if you had an opportunity to do that, who would be in your big 3 of the time that you played in the NBA?
That's a really good question. Number one, we hate that. Let's get that out the way. The old heads, we hate that. No, first and foremost, we really hate it. Listen, me and Michael were really close. He would be fun to play with, obviously. And I probably got to find me a big guy like probably David Robinson. Yeah. Who's
People
a good
sleep on him,
yeah,
man.
who's a
Yeah,
good
they do.
friend.
Yeah.
But I look at a guy like the best player I ever played against is Kevin McHale. I mean, he was just a monster. No slight to Larry Bird, who was great himself, but for me, guarding Kevin was a handful.
What made him such a handful?
Well, not when he was like 7 feet tall, but his footwork was ridiculous. I mean, he developed that up and under, and then you think he's going up and under, and then he shoots a fadeaway. You know, we always talk about like guys think way too much. Like young guys ask me, well, how many moves do I need? I says, well, it depends on where you're at on the floor. And I said, you need 2 moves, a move and a counter. Depending on where you're at, you're on the left box, right box, which I did all my damage there. I said I had to have 2 moves because the other team's gonna start watching tape and say, "Oh, we got to take this away," because like they got a coach, they got a tape guy. I'm like, yeah, we're not gonna let that beat us. So, but okay, have a move and a counter. Have a move and a counter. A lot of these guys like, I got a lot in my bag. I'm like, yeah, man, you don't need all that shit in your bag. Stop it. Stop that. You don't need all that.
Because only 30% works.
Yes. No, I said, you're not that good to have 5 things in your bag. Let's just do it. Like, you just do 2 things in your bag. Let's leave it at that, and we're good.
Oh, weak ass bag.
Yeah. Like, I got a lot in my bag. Well, you just got too much.
Yeah, Santa Claus. You
Yeah,
fake.
yeah.
Ain't nobody dropping off no presents in that bag.
Yeah, man. You don't need it. Put your bag away. Work on a couple moves. That's all you need. A move and a counter. And like I say, that's what Kevin was great at. He had that up, and he is like, if you stop the up, he gonna fade away, and if you try to stop it, he gonna go under, and that's what made him special.
You talk about bags. I want to talk about the bag that you brought over here. Red Mont Vodka. You know what I'm saying? So like, let everybody needs to know now, because I'm not in particular a vodka drinker.
Well, you know,
and I appreciate what you really brought to the table, and I'm not just saying this is real talk.
Well, so I figured out my goal. I've been trying to give $1 million a year away to charity. So I started out with my high school, Then I went to Auburn. Then I went to Wounded Warriors. In the last 5 years, I've given $1 million to 5 historically black colleges. So Morehouse and Clark here in Atlanta, and then Alabama, Miles, Alabama A&M, and Tuskegee. So my people told me, so like, because, I'm wrestling with the retirement thing. Because I don't want to work to the day I die. That's just not going to be me. I want to play golf and fish. I ain't even going to lie.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
I want to play golf and fish. So a few years ago, this Redmont and Vulcan Gin, they're from Birmingham. And I said, I had been looking for a business in Alabama for probably 20 years. Because I grew up in a small town, Leeds, right outside of Birmingham. But I wanted to own a business in Birmingham. And I couldn't find anything. And finally, Redmont came about and Vulcan, and I was like, that's the first one I did. I said, let's make sure this shit tastes good. So I got all my boys together. And I said, we're going to do it this way. We're going to do straight vodka. We're going to do vodka and water, vodka cran, and vodka with some orange juice. Because I wanted to get, we have to be honest with each other. Because, I wanted to make sure the product was good. Because I was going to put a lot of money into the distillery. And we bought it. Once I got the seal of approval from my boys, I'm like, okay, I like it, And so Redmont is my thing right now because I just really want to own a business in Alabama. And so when I bought the company, we took a step back. I said, okay, guys, let's just stay in Alabama for a couple years and let's see what we can do here. And I felt very confident that my Auburn people were going to support me.
Yep.
And I actually felt pretty good about the Alabama fans want to help a local company, minority owned. I got a female CEO.
Illinois.
Yeah, Illinois Estes. And I says, because I want everybody to know we're an Alabama company, we're minority owned, and Alabama, the Auburn fans and Alabama fans been great, and we've been doing great in Alabama. So a couple people came to me and says, hey, why don't you expand to Georgia? And I was like, okay, let's think about this for a minute. Because like I say, I'm a patient person. I said, hey, let's don't go overboard because it takes money to go from state to state. And now, to be honest with you guys, we're in about 18 states and we're doing well. Huge. But I really want this to be successful so I can keep giving this money. Cause they were like, yeah, man, you can't be giving your money away if you're going to be sitting your ass at home fishing and golfing. I said, well, we need to probably make this Redmont and Vulcan thing work. So we have put a lot of time in it. I got a great group of people around me. Illinois, the CEO, Montel Morton from Birmingham is really one of our guys. Our distiller name is Jonathan Guidry. He's the guy who cook all this stuff. We got a beautiful facility in Birmingham.
Check it out, man.
Yeah, come by.
Yeah,
we have a lot of barbecues and things and just have people come by and test the product. We got Anthony Pittman, who's over here in Georgia, who does a fantastic job.
Shout out to Ant.
Yeah. So the guys, and man, we've been working hard. Yeah. But it's an interesting business, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. I mean, because the way it works, you have to do something different in every state. You kind of do. You really got. I have to do an individual deal basically in all 50 states. Yeah. Like you can't just say, "Hey, let's go to here. Let's go here." They're like, "No, you have to get first of all, you have to get permission to come in." But it's been But I'm really happy with the product. I tell people, we're just first of all, and it's distilled 8 times, which is supposed to make it cleaner and better. And then there's some shit called non-GMO. I have zero fucking idea what that means.
Not genetically modified.
Yeah, it is gluten-free. And I'm just sitting here like, yo, man, does the shit taste good?
It does, though.
Yeah,
it does. I'm on it.
Yeah, I'm just laughing my ass off. I'm like, yeah, man, it's non-GMO. I said, yo, man, Okay, that's good. Oh, it's gluten free. I'm like, yeah, man. I don't know what the fuck that means. I have
About
zero.
like half of these women walking around here with the GMO butt.
I'm like, hey, man, how does it taste? Let's make sure it tastes good. And so it's been going well, man. I appreciate the love.
And y'all in the 2022 World Games too.
Well, so this is really, I'm excited for Birmingham for that.
That's huge,
That's
man.
major, yeah.
Because, man, we finally got a mayor, Mayor Woodfin, Randall Woodfin. He's a young guy from Morehouse who's really trying to help the city of Birmingham. Because one of the reasons I wanted to open up a business in Alabama, especially Birmingham, Birmingham is a really important civil rights, historical. You know, you go back. You know, everybody talks about the Selma massacre. Everybody talks about the Montgomery bus boycott. But Birmingham, to me, you go back to the church bombing. You know, we got an amazing civil rights institute there, and our mayors have neglected Birmingham for a long period of time. Birmingham has had a black mayor since the 80s. Since the 80s.
A lot of people don't know that.
And a lot of people, nobody knows that actually.
Yeah.
We've had a black mayor since the 80s. And I mean, no disrespect. And as my boy Jim Rome says, anytime you say, I mean, no disrespect, you know what's coming next? Disrespect.
Backhand.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's coming some disrespect. They have done an awful job for the citizens, for the black citizens of Birmingham. They've done an awful job. One of the reasons I admire Maynard Jackson here in Atlanta, he made a lot of black people successful. I've been very disappointed in the black mayors in Birmingham. They've not helped any black people except their close friends be successful. And that's not what success is about. When you're successful, you're supposed to help everybody around you. So we finally have a mayor. Like I say, I'd met with those other mayors, and they were full of shit. And I says, I want to invest some money in Birmingham. I really want to, because this is where I'm from. Right. And they did. They were awful. And I met with the new mayor. He just started his second term, Mayor Woodfin. And I said, and he got all these programs going for these kids. And I was telling him about me working with these historically black colleges. I said, yo, man, I'm not trying to make money just for myself. I made enough money. I want, when old geezer kill over, I wanted to keep rolling. I mean, I you know, and I'm not saying this because, man, I have exceeded all my expectations. You know, every now and then as I'm getting older, I just turned 59, I sit back and says, because when I go visit my hometown, I pass the projects where we lived growing up. And because I could drive to the house I built my mom and grandmother, but I had to go through the projects, the two places we lived. And now for me, I just buried my dad, but two of my brothers are gone, my mom and dad and my grandmother. So it's me and one brother, and I got 4 nieces. So I understand that I'm on the back 9. I don't know what hole I'm on, but I'm on the back 9. I'm on the back 9, but I have exceeded all my expectations. I mean, I can't, like, every now and then I say, man, what a great life you've had. I mean, you think about it, growing up, my mom's a maid, and my grandmother works at the meat factory. And I used to want to just kill her because she brought these chicken feet home. She used to bring these big bags of chicken feet home. And if you ever eaten chicken feet, this is a chicken feet, and there's like one little piece of meat right here. There's like one little piece of meat right here. And you eat that, and that's the only part of the chicken feet you can eat. And let me tell you something. There must have been, I'm not even joking, 300 chicken feet.
300 feet?
Yeah, and you have to eat.
God damn.
And you have to eat, listen.
That's 150 chicken.
Hey, I'm just telling you something. You have to eat so many just to get full. Because I'm telling you something. If you ever get a chance to somebody show you a chicken feet, the only piece of meat is a little palm. It's a little puffer piece of meat. And you have to eat like over and over and over just to feel full.
Spice laughing because he done did it. He done
Like, I mean, you sitting there and you're like, man, it's a lot of work. There's a lot of work for that little ass piece of meat. like,
That's why we go behind the back.
When we started getting some money and I got like the whole chicken. Oh Lord,
Life changing.
life changing. You know, I think about it, and you know, I think about my life, and you know, when we were poor, so all the neighborhood, like in our neighborhood, real small town, Leeds, love my hometown. So all the poor people pooled their money, and we would buy like 2 or 3 hogs, and then like right at the beginning of summer, we buy three hogs, and then my granddad, we'd drive to Birmingham and go dumpster diving and getting all the slop, which is really just rotted food.
Rotted food. Yeah.
And we'd have like 3 or 4 hogs, and we'd feed them for like 4 months. And then right before winter, we'd kill them. And you have to shoot them in the head so you don't ruin the meat. And then you hang them up on a tree, and then all the kids in the neighborhood, we scraping this pig, getting all the hair off it for like hours. And then they take it away, and then like 2 weeks later, all this meat comes back.
The ribs, the ham
yeah,
hock.
it comes back in a plain white package. And I think each house, each project house, got like probably 30 different types of meat, and that's how we survived. I mean, it was like you're like, and it was so weird because you thought it was normal that people just kill their pig and hang it up, and y'all take the hot water and scrub it with a dull knife. You don't want to hurt the meat, and that, but. I would not change that for a thing, because you realize it was, wow, this is how we live, but you didn't think anything about it. But then you sit back and look at it like, my God, because, man, I would tell you, like, we were so poor, I was joking around. My mom, we could only get 1 pair of sneakers a year when we were playing. So she'd bring them to the game. And the next thing you hear after the game is your crazy mom beating on the door to get the sneakers back, because you could only wear them during the game until the season was over. And then once the season was over, they were racked. And then you jumping in dumpsters and getting, thinking about it now, my hands are getting wet. You're grabbing every piece of rotten shit in the dumpster, and you throw it in there and put some feed in, and those pigs are like, it was crazy, man.
Wow. See, and that's exactly why Takeo knows I don't eat pork. I don't eat nothing that start with a P. So, no pecans, no pancakes, no popcorn.
Boy, you lucky, because I want to say something then.
I dare you to sing
it. Pancakes. You don't eat them again with a P?
No. Pineapples, nothing.
Damn.
This guy here is famished, isn't he?
It's a single.
Oh man, that's crazy. That's behind the mask right there. That's like the growing up. Takeo tells me stuff. He's like, yeah, we just got some. They would put the traps up and I think get the raccoons, and then he would skin the raccoons. And till you just told me that story, I didn't even know pigs had skin or hair.
Yes,
I
man.
didn't know
That's
none
what
of
you
that.
call
Like,
crackling.
Yeah.
So you need to listen, man. You ain't been living. You been up there in New York City, up there eating them rats, them street rats.
I don't eat no rats. We eat Chinese food. It ain't.
That's exactly what you was eating.
No, I like.
Breaking
I had an
news.
uncle who went hunting. He brought back rabbit, which I love, squirrel, which I love. You probably don't even like chitlins.
Hell no.
Man, let me tell you something.
This is the last episode I'm gonna do with him.
Come
So
on,
you
man.
embarrassing
You don't
me
like
in
no
front of
chitlins,
Southern
man?
Company.
I've never had a chitlin a day in my life.
No ham hock, no
Never
neck
had
bones.
a ham. I'm telling you, I don't eat nothing that start with a P. Nothing from a pig. Nah.
First, until you had some pig ears and pig feet.
Why?
Because they're good.
I ain't trying to hear what a pig talk.
You know, hey, pig ears. Hey, I'm telling you, pig ears and pig feet. There's a restaurant that I go to. They got the pig head.
It ain't in this Red Mount vodka.
No. I'm telling you, this pig head. I'm telling you, man. The tongue. First of all, you pull the tongue out, and it's about this long and about this thick.
Chuck, come on.
It's like butter. And then the eyeballs, you stick the fork in the eye.
What you saying?
I'm just saying. I'm
I
telling
ain't
you.
never did eyeballs.
I'm telling you. You stick the fork in those eyeballs, pull it out. It's just crunchy goodness. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. And the snout.
I'm getting hot right now because it's too much.
Because you want some.
Nah,
That's
because
why.
it's not a
Snout doesn't start with a P, Tutan.
It's not appetizing at all to me, but we way off right now. But if Auburn beats Ole Miss, I'm not going to no restaurant that you're talking about. That
First of all, one thing about Auburn,
would never do
we
that.
don't go to restaurants, brother.
which
we
I
cook
do.
it for you at home.
No, brother, we don't. We tailgate.
No, we gonna tell you. I ain't never been to the Grove though.
I have never been to the Grove.
I'm telling you, it's like no other. Y'all would never go back to Auburn if y'all come to the Grove for Ole Miss.
I will admit I've heard great things about the Grove, but I'm gonna tell you something. Auburn, our tailgating, it was so crazy when I went there because those people start showing up on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So you go to class Wednesday. You come back to class. There's probably 5 to 10 RVs out there before practice. Mm-hmm. You come out after practice. It's probably 20. You wake up on Thursday. There's probably 40. You come back. It's 50. But before you see it, there's RVs as far as you can see. I mean, that's why we get 99,000. I mean, it's so crazy. Yeah. And everybody is cooking. Yeah. And they're like, hey, come over after practice. And like, man, it's such a wonderful thing. Yeah. But I have heard great stuff about the Grove.
Yeah. I'm going to treat y'all right when y'all come down there. You know what I'm saying? We'll set y'all up and everything, make sure y'all good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then maybe we can, hope if it's good enough, then Chuck may take it back to his podcast with him and Ernie.
Facts.
I like the podcast too, by the way, with you and Ernie, man.
Yeah, you know, I will admit.
The steam room, right?
Yeah, the steam room with me and Ernie Johnson. And so, you know, when we first started it, I was like, nah, I'm not doing this shit. I was like, nah. So I said, you know what? I'll be a good soldier. Because we started during the pandemic. Yep. And I said, yeah, you know what? These people have been paying me. I said, you know, you got to always be a team player. I said, I'll tell you what, guys. Since y'all been paying us during the pandemic, I know y'all need to make money, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to do it. And, man, this is our 3rd year. Yeah. And I tell you, it's been awesome. I mean, I was shocked and I was surprised. I mean, people come up and say, hey, I was doing. I'm gonna make sure I give you some love on our show tonight. Behind the mask.
Fact.
Yep.
But I really have enjoyed it, and the cool thing about it, I think it's important that you talk about stuff like, you know, we had Dr. Fauci on when the pandemic first hit. I want to have, you know. Like, I want to teach black people how to handle money, you know, because one thing we always talk about, I says, you know, black people need to learn how to handle money.
Facts.
Because I remember, I used to tell you this, when I was in college, you know, they only send you, and I'm not hating on MasterCard and Visa, but they send you MasterCard and Visa in college. Mm-hmm. And we're like, man. So we started buying all this shit, and we're like, yo, man, they gave us that's free money, and then you start paying that minimum.
And it ain't enough.
Then I was like, no. I'm like, hey, man, let's buy some more shit. And like, if we don't know anything about money, yeah. And you like, we keep buying stuff, paying that minimum, and then when I go to the Embiid, my financial guy like, yo, man, why you got all these bills? I said, oh, man, we were getting over on those folks in college. me and the guys, we were buying stuff and we were paying the minimum. He says, you don't know anything about money, do you? I said, no, I ain't never had no money, fool. And he says, okay, we're going to pay off your debt. Hey, you don't do that. We're going to you pay. You can have MasterCard and Visa, but we're going to get you American Express and you're going to pay everything off at the end of the month. He said, Charles, you're only paying interest. I says, I'm not sure what that means. He says, when you pay the minimum, you're not even attacking what you owe people. He said, let me give you an example. I forget what it was. He says, well, that thing was $2,500. You've been paying the minimum. At the rate you're going, you're probably going to end up paying $5,000 for something that costs $2,400.
Thanks.
And I said, what? He said, you just paying, that's how they trick you. They let you pay the minimum. That's just the interest and that's it. He said, so you're going to end up paying close to triple what you would have paid. And that was my first financial lesson. And to this day, I was like, nah, guys. And I try to teach my friends too. I was, guys, do not fall for the pay the minimum and things like that. If you can't afford it, don't get it. But if you got to buy it, pay it off as soon as you can, hopefully at the end of the month or quickly as possible, because when you're paying that minimum, they're getting over on you.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Well, that's kind of stuff I want to talk about because I want other people to be successful with me on this journey.
Right on.
Yeah.
That's what it's about, man.
Yeah.
And we had Edgerrin James on a few episodes ago, and he talked about, the way that you create the life you want to live, you have to be financial aware of what you're doing. So totally get that, man. I got one thing to ask you, though. This is one of my favorite stories. You provide such great color commentary on Inside the NBA. I was surprised to hear. I heard a lot of stories that a lot of people don't know. But the story that surprised me is, how we can relate because when we're in the huddle, we on like a 10-play drive and you want water, your lips chapped, you're breathing. I was surprised to hear what you used to do on the court when you felt like you was dehydrated and your lips was dry. They call you out and said you used to put Vaseline inside of your navel.
Yeah, I did.
And then you used to, whenever you felt them getting dry, you used to go inside of your navel and put them on your lips.
I always keep chapstick with me.
I bet you don't have any right now.
Oh, I got two of them with me today.
I got two.
Because I knew that I was going to be on here.
Hey, Spikes, bro, you got to know, bro. That's how big fellas do.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. There's nothing worse than a big old dude with big old white lips. There's nothing worse than that. That drive.
That's a fact.
When you see a big old dude and he got big old white ashy lips.
You smile, they crack and bleed.
Yeah, I know. I was like, no, man, keep your lips moist. Keep your lips moist. And I used to keep chapstick, the Vaseline in my stomach. I fill it up at halftime too, because it kind of some of it moves.
Yeah.
Some of it moves the first half. Yeah. No, it just kind of I get you're sweating and everything, but I refill it at halftime. Man, listen, man. I got 20,000 people watching me. I don't want them looking at me like, look at those big ashy lips on Charles Barkley.
Exactly.
No, nobody wants to see that.
And that's what we call free game.
That's it, man. I'm not walking around with no big old ashy lips. No, that's not gonna happen with me.
Oh man, you know what? I feel you. I keep mine on me. You know what I'm saying?
You got to.
Sometimes though, the webs in my hands, this free game too. Sometimes the webs in my hands, might get ashy, so I use the chapstick for the webs in my hands too. Now that's next level.
I it's so funny. I notice now that I got to start using lotion because I guess I'm getting older, and like I used to never. This is my lotion extent. I put some in and rub it around, get my hands done like that, and I'm good. But now I realize, like, yo, man, your legs are ashy, your back is dry. I mean, getting old ain't no joke. I go every week to get a mani-pedi. I hope y'all notice that. I got to make sure that the shine is on. But you got to go get that mani-pedi, too.
Take care of yourself.
Yeah, you got to get that mani-pedi because I think that what we've done to our body is not normal.
Yeah.
So you got anything you can do to help, you got to do it. I mean, I already got 2 new hips. And like I say, I've lost 52 pounds. I got to lose another 40. Because the last few years, I got really fat and out of shape. I got 2 new hips. That's part of the excuse, but I just was getting lazy. So I decided about 6 months ago to start fasting. I only eat 1 time a day, and it's been amazing. Like, I was starving like the first week and a half. I was starving like hell. But after that, and I started noticing the weight loss, I was like, man, this is going good. Yeah. So I've lost 52 pounds so far.
Congrats, man.
And like I said, I want to lose. I can't get back down to 250, but my goal is to get down to 270, somewhere in there. Because I played at 250. And my doctor, he said, yo, man, you better get your fat ass in shape. He says, you see a lot of fat young people. You don't see no fat old people. I says, you're right, doc. You're right, doc. I'm going to get it together. So I started the fasting thing. And, man, it's been a lifesaver. Like I say, I feel better than I have in probably 20 years. And I'm back to playing golf every day. And that, to me, that is so much fun. I mean, it's so interesting about our lives. You know, like, growing up in Alabama, I was like, golf got to be the stupidest thing in the world.
Man, what the hell are you talking about?
And now I am so addicted to golf. There's no person in the world watch more Golf Channel than me. And I watch every golf tournament. I play, especially during the summer, I play every single day. It's so much fun being out there. And you out there with 3 guys talking so much trash. And one good thing about, like, I got friends who play football, baseball, and everything. And there's always this great debate. Who's the best? Who's the best athlete?
Yeah. And
it's so much fun. When they win, they get bragging rights. When I win, I get bragging rights. But it's just, man, and I actually love walking. Just being out there on a beautiful day with 3 of your boys, smoking some cigars, man, you can't beat it.
Yeah. I can't golf. Takeo's tried. He's giving me his starter kit of golf clubs, and I have them, and I wound up lending them to my boy real quick. He said as soon as you lend them away, that means you ain't really serious about it. You know what I mean? But I will get them back, promise. But with that, who is the better golfer between you and Spikes? Because he says he's serious now.
Well, we've never played, but
with each other.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm balling right now. I'm not gonna lie.
But you in the high 90s now?
Brother, I'm getting ready to break 80.
Ooh.
I'm getting ready to break 80.
Oh, I did that last year. Pandemic.
Ooh. Okay. Okay. There was no pressure on you.
Well,
you was in a bubble.
Pressure.
Okay.
You was in a bubble playing.
Yeah.
You don't even play. What you talking about?
Yeah. You know, I've been to hell and back with my golf game. I mean, I used to be a really good player, and I just lost it for 20 years. And I met a new teacher named Stan Utley who changed my life. And for some reason, we just clicked. And now I have a game plan. I know what I'm trying to do. I got to do more with my short game because I spent so much time working on my big game, on my long game. I totally neglected my short game. And he gave me a great lesson, trying to get that club head back to the ball first. Get that club head back to the ball first on your chipping. And this summer, I expect to make I'm going to be in the single digits by the end of this summer.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I'm going to be in single digits.
Well, you know what?
I'm
Here's the single digits. To me and you.
To me and you.
There it is.
It's only one way to solve this thing, too.
There it is.
That means we got to tee it up.
I got nothing but air and opportunity.
Oh, my goodness. Man, let me go ahead and book out then.
Yeah. Listen, before we let you get out of here, man, one last question. I know for me, I left the game after 10 years in the league, and I just didn't get any more calls. You know, people didn't want my services anymore. It is what it is. Takeo, unfortunately, after 15 years, his last game, he was ejected. I know after your career, your last season ended with injuries, and you said, I'm done. If you had anything else to do different, or you wanted to rewrite another ending to your career, what would that be?
Well, number one, anytime you play double-digit years, that's an amazing career. You know, people don't understand the average career in pro sports is like 4 years. Yeah. If you make it double-digit years, you won the lottery. Yeah. I mean, you won the lottery. You know, the only thing that sucks for me, I was already going to retire. I got hurt, but I had already announced because my body was fading fast. Man, I wouldn't change a thing. I mean, you think about how lucky we are. I mean, you're one of the best ever if you make it to pro sports. Mm-hmm. And if you're able to play double-digit years, you're like, because for most players, like when I'm doing March Madness, I know for 99.9% of those players, that's the last time they're going to play. Yeah. That's the last time they're going to play. And if you're able to get to the NBA or the NFL or even Major League Baseball, I mean, because think about it, y'all sport got 53 players. Mm-hmm. But I think baseball got 25. We got 12. Like, if you're able to get in that little group and you're able to play double-digit years, which all three of us did, man, we the three of the luckiest dudes in the world. I mean, we're three of the luckiest dudes in the world. The only thing that sucks is we can't still keep playing because ain't nothing like it. Yeah. I tell people, there's nothing in my life, and that doesn't mean you family and friends or whatever. Ain't nothing like getting ready for a big game. Yeah. That's a fact. Ain't nothing like getting ready for a big game.
Nothing like it.
Nothing like it. I mean, I tell people, I says, I can't even explain it to you, because unless you played in a big game, like, ain't nothing like it.
Period.
Well,
Chuck, man, we appreciate you stopping by the lounge,
it's my pleasure, man.
Taking a little time.
Hey, listen, man, I want to tell both of y'all continued success. I think it's great that y'all doing a podcast. Anytime, hey, I'll be happy to come back again.
Absolutely. Maybe we'll do that after I kind of chop you up out there on the course, you know?
Yeah, we can do it from the course.
Yeah.
There it is.
I appreciate you,
Anytime, my brother. Anytime.